What's up YouTube? Me JackAsian, doing a deck profile of the deck that I've been playing, trolling people on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, Skull Servants. Let's get started. Got 3 Skull Servants vanillas, obviously needed for the deck for Skull Servants. Then 3 White Mares, just put that just in case people actually want to read something. 3 White Mares and 3 King of the Skull Servants. Gains 1,000 for every Skull Servant in the grave. And this card counts as Skull Servant in the grave on the field as well. Oh, it's just in the grave, sorry. And then White Mare, you can discard this card to the grave to special summon Skull Servant, for King of Skull Servant, or Lady of White from the graveyard, or to add a remove from play and add that to the graveyard. Or yeah, maybe you can read it. I'm too. Bleh. Then I play the Piper build, so I play 2 Kikabayo along with 3 Mystic Piper. You never want to bring back a King of Skull Servant with Kikabayo just because you'll get banished later. And you don't want to totally rely on White Mare's effect on bringing it back. I mean, you can if you want to. I've done it before. It's pretty amazing, but try not to rely on that. You just try to bring back Piper. You definitely play 3 of them. Right, then other level ones you play are 3 Battle Faders for stall, 3 Swift Scarecrows for stall, 2 Avec Failures to slow down your opponent. I play 2 Weisels. It's just so that once, like, if I have King or anything else on the field and it gets Dark Hold or something because my opponent can't get over it, Weisel's a good backup option, and it's a level 1, so it just helps with Piper draw. And then for other non-level ones, we'll just think hold up. 24 level 1 monsters. That's kind of crazy, but whatever. Then, 2 Tracks, Gores, BLS, and Chaos Orc. The Tracks are fairly easy to summon because you do take damage. Gores is fairly easy because you only play like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 settable spell trap cards. Then BLS and Chaos Orc because you have Effect Failure and Piper and a whole bunch of darks. So you know, it's just you don't have field presence with this card. It's just you have like 1 or 2 monsters and maybe 1 back row, probably not. Alright, going to spells, Foolish Burial for Pipers or Skull Servants. 1 for 1 for Piper or Skull Servants. You either go for Piper or King of the Skull Servant normally. Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, 2 MST staples. And then Card Destruction. This will mess up your opponent and or sets you up for your, if you have like a bunch of bad cards in hand, like 3 or 4 Skull Servants, and you just want to send them to the grave. It really helps out. And then 2 Hand Destructions. Sometimes these are useless because sometimes your opponent will have no hand, especially considering how bad some of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro players are. They just play such terrible decks. But Hand Destruction helps speed up and filter out the Skull Servants from your hand, send them to the graveyard. And then for Trap, I just play Treacherous Trap Hole. Basically the only trap card you need in the deck because you have plenty of stuff that will, after your opponent goes crazy, you have plenty of stuff to, you know, stop your opponent from killing you. So you don't really need Solemns and whatnot, Torrentials, when you can stop your opponent and then summon a Trag or a King of Skull Servant to get over your opponent. So it's just like, there's no need for other traps to pay life points when you're taking damage for stuff already anyway. Then extra deck, not complete, but you know, just basic stuff. Black Rose Dragon, Ancient Fairy Dragon, Ancient Sacred Wyvern for lols, Scrap Archfiend backup, Arcanite Magician for Chaos Orc, Formula Synchron, Scrap Dragon if you sync with Gores, or if you go Chaos Orc, Kinkabai, Effect Failure, if you think about that, then Thought Wheel Archery and Stardust. And then for Exceeds, Force Focus, probably no chance of doing this, but you know, just in case you do, it's pretty cool. And same thing with Strike Balancer. And then 3 Shiny Magicians, which is fairly easy to go into with this deck, especially since this is a really boss rank 1 monster. Definitely playing 3 of them. And side decks are relevant. I just put 2 DD Crows and a Effect Failure for now. But anyway, there's the Skull Servant Piper deck. It's definitely stall and add cards to your hand, discard at end phase, and wait for your opponent to do stuff until you have King of Skull Servant bossed out on the field. It's definitely a setting up deck, but you definitely have enough to protect yourself. So if not, give this deck some try. You might like it. You might hate it for the fact that it plays Fader and Swift Scarecrow, but your opponent will hate it definitely more than you will. So, JackAsian shining out.